3. Hello, I'm David Morgan, and on behalf of the Practice Technology Committee, we are presenting the Tech Tip for the month. And this month's Tech Tip is how to use a reMarkable tablet to assist you in note-taking and other tasks involved in your law practice. With me today is Kevin Rubin, and he is an attorney in the Atlanta area. His firm is called Rubin Family Law, and he has 4 attorneys in his firm. Now, today, Kevin is not in Atlanta. He is in Chicago. He is attending an AAML activity, but I'll let Kevin discuss that with you more during his presentation. And now I'm going to turn it over to Kevin.
All right, thanks, David. Yeah, I have the fortune of being a faculty member at the AAML Associate Institute that just wrapped up. So we're a little time delayed here, but I will say it went great. We had a lot of attendees, a lot of mentees, a lot of new mentors. And if you are considering as a fellow whether to do the program for your associates or other people in your area, please consider it. It was a incredible success this year. And it was great to see a lot of young people coming into family law. And we had a great time and a lot of information thrown at them. So if one of your associates went, we hope they came back with, I told my people, even if you take 5% back, that's great. So I'm here today to talk about the reMarkable. I am a big technology guy. In a former life, before I went back to law school, I actually did IT work for about 4 years. And had a computer growing up. That was my thing. My IT guy knows I know enough to be dangerous. And I'm a tinkerer, but I'm here to talk about the reMarkable. So this is the new reMarkable Paper Pro. It just came out. There is a older version called the reMarkable 2. This one has what I love about it is I got it as soon as it came out, as a nice little handy slide thing so you can hold onto your pen or your marker, and it keeps it secure there. Mine's passcode protected. Strongly recommend everyone do that for everything, as we usually tell our clients anyway. Change your passcodes, right? But you should definitely have one, especially because you have a lot of client communication or client confidential information on this. So what is the reMarkable and how does it work? It's effectively a digital paper notepad. It is incredible. I have replaced, I don't even have any paper notepads anymore in my office. I have replaced everything with the reMarkable. I know that I've talked with a bunch of people, they use sometimes an iPad. I like this compared to, I have an iPad as well. I like this compared to the iPad because the sole purpose of this device is for note taking. And it doesn't have anything else on there. There's no other distractions. There's no email. There's no entertainment. It is solely for note taking, and it feels as though I am actually writing, has that real pen to paper feel to it. And I used to have stacks of notepads everywhere. Every client had a notepad. And my problem was I never really went back or scanned it in, and I would just leave it in my office. And if I somehow lost that notepad, I'd have to get a new one, and that's not great. So instead of having a ton of notepads, spending a ton of money on paper, because boy, is it expensive, I just have this device. And there's a lot of great things about it. I have a folder system in here with notebooks where I can have multiple pages in the notebooks. I've got folders for consultations, client files, my firm business in there, various organizations, AML, the various committees that I'm on with the AML. Everyone has a folder, everyone has a notebook. This way I can be super organized and keep my notes and go back on it, such as our LPM technology committee, which you should consider joining if you're watching this in the first place. It has the ability to convert handwriting into text, has the ability to search within there. Compared to writing, like I said, it's almost identical. I have it set where I scroll up and down on a single page. So instead of having to flip back pages on a notepad, I scroll up and down really simple. I can just change something and then scroll back down, continue to write fresh or off to the side. It is wonderful. I love it. And I don't get any ink on myself. Um, I think there was one of the questions we talked about was how do we save notes and documents? It automatically saves to this system here. And it does have a couple of cool integrations. It does integrate with Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, and Dropbox. I use SharePoint, so it doesn't integrate with it yet, to my knowledge. So I can't really automatically upload things to my system yet. But it constantly adds. It didn't have that up until a couple of years ago, and they've keep continued to rolling out various upgrades and integrations. I have the subscription service. I bought mine. I got the reMarkable 2 so long ago that I am grandfathered in on their Connect service where I don't pay for it. That being said, it's not expensive. It's $2.99 a month. And what that gets you is that when I write anything on my reMarkable, it automatically syncs to the cloud. I've got unlimited cloud storage with this, and it can go everywhere that I have access to reMarkable. So I have applications on my, and that sounds a little crazy, but I have a home desktop, a work desktop, a work laptop, a work iPad, just because I want to be able to have access. And if I forget to bring a device, a laptop from home, I don't have to worry about that. But it syncs everywhere. So if I leave, which I do, I usually leave my reMarkable in the office. I put it in my desk drawer, leave it there for the night. It automatically syncs up regardless. I know it always does. I can access that information on any of those devices, including my cell phone, at any time. Everything goes out automatically. It's all, proper cloud security, everything along that line. So that's one of the big benefits of it, David, is that you can take notes. You can meet with the client that day. You can talk about maybe terms for a settlement offer or something like that. And you go home and you want to draft it, but you didn't take your reMarkable home with you. But you have a computer at home. You can have the application on there and you can pull up your notes right there. I do that all the time, and it is the greatest thing ever. Or what happened in mediation that day? My client wants a recap, maybe. So maybe later that day, or if it's a weekend, I can just pull up my notes. And I use this all the time for mediations. Like I said, I take it in new client consultations. I take it in there. I just write everything down on that. Any calls, meetings. This thing is open, and I'm taking notes all the time in the client folder. So it's real phenomenal. And one other thing that is pretty cool, and then I typically will, you can on the desktop application, I'm not sure if you can do it on the iPad application, you can drag PDFs into the system, and then they will download to the reMarkable device. So if I want to read over a deposition, if I want to highlight certain portions of it, I can do it all on this reMarkable. Same with the old one. The beauty of this one is it is color, so I can highlight in different colors if I want to. And this one actually will show up as different colors. You can do it on the reMarkable too. It won't show up as color unless you're on your computer. But it's great. You can read over depositions, transcripts. I will usually put, if I'm going to court, especially if it's just a motions hearing, I'll put the motions on this, and I'll download them. They're all PDFs. So I'll download them, have them properly labeled, have them in there, review them, maybe have my notes, have my outlines, everything on there. And I know one question you had was, using it in trial, I believe. I don't bring a notepad with me. I might as a backup just in case anything ever happens to it, which so far, knock on wood, has never happened. There's been no glitches, but I do everything on here. So my opposing counsel's opening, I'm taking notes. Any of their directs, their cross examinations, I'm taking notes of what they're saying, as well as thoughts on, redirect, recross, things on that line. It is phenomenal. It has completely replaced paper as far as I'm concerned. So
One
yeah.
question I have is, does this allow your staff to have access to your notes if they have to know something about a case?
So I would have to actually go. Unfortunately, right now, I don't have it connected because I'm using SharePoint. So there's no automatic connection, automatic syncing. I'm hoping at some point they do expand that, just because Google Drive, OneDrive, which is really just an individual with Microsoft product, and Dropbox. So since I don't use those services. I use OneDrive, but my team doesn't have access. however, and what I typically do is I will go on, especially after a consultation, if they retain me, I will go in, take my consult notes, convert it to a PDF, and upload it to my system, and then name it using my naming convention so that my staff can do it. But it's not automatic, unfortunately. I wish it was, but it's not. If unless I'm using one of those other services like Google Drive, or everyone uses OneDrive. Maybe there's communal OneDrive. I don't think there is, or Dropbox. If you have one of those, you can use it in that capacity. Yes,
All right, sounds
but
good.
I don't have that ability, unfortunately. Yeah.
Does it help you at all with your timekeeping?
Um, not really. I should do better in terms of contemporaneous timekeeping. I know I talk a lot about that. I'm the type that I have a folder. It actually does because sometimes if I'm working on something, I will write on there when I start and stop it. I'm old school in that way. I write down when I start something, when I stop something, because I'm just not good at recreating my time afterwards. But I will sometimes if I'm in a mediation, when like I will look at the clock, write down when I start something or when I meet with a client when I start it. This way I know to go back and then properly write it down or enter into the system immediately. So yeah.
All right. Well, I think that was an excellent presentation. I have one more question to ask you, and that
Okay.
is, do you use these in your law firm anymore? That is a uh,
I can't see. Can you
sticky
put that
notes,
up here? The Post-its, yes. Well,
post-it
yes.
notes.
I still use the Post-it notes. Yes, I still use them. Not as often, but they're there. I do typically what I do is if I feel like a little overwhelmed, I'll take out a Post-it note. I'll write down three things that I need to do immediately, and I'll stick it on my monitor, and that's how I go for my day. But other than that, I might put it on something. I still do print out most of my pleadings and read it. Even though I'm relatively young, I prefer to see it on paper because sometimes, there's marital and then you might write down Marshall, but Microsoft Word is not going to capture that. That's one of those words. I don't do it anymore, but I remember when I was a baby associate, that was pointed out. But no, I use sometimes that. So one other thing I do want to say, David, I want to talk about the costs of this real quick. These are not inexpensive devices, but they're worth it because I believe last time I looked into the cost of a paper notepad, I think it was like $20 for four. And they might have gone up. I mean, this was, a couple years ago. Obviously, paper products, lumber, everything's going up in price. So the reMarkable 2 right now, because it's the old version, which is only really black and white, it is $3.99, and you get a marker with it. I have the marker that has a built-in eraser on it, and I strongly suggest if you are getting one of these to get it. It's just easier instead of having to click a button erase. I just turn this thing around and just erase it. It's amazing what it does.
Yeah.
So the regular marker is $79 for the reMarkable 2. If you buy the paper Pro one, that device costs $629. So the reMarkable 2 is $399 with a marker of $79. There are folios, so you can protect this thing. The Paper Pro, which I strongly recommend for everyone, I got it right away. I was super happy with it. It is $629 for the device. It includes a regular marker. If you want to upgrade the marker with the built-in eraser, it's an extra $50. It's, in my opinion, worth it. Various folios, like I showed earlier. I've got a leather one that has the built-in strap. You can get what they call a mosaic weave and a polymer weave that are less expensive. I think it's like a cloth material. I just like the leather. I think it looks nice. And I would strongly recommend this. I mean, these are not inexpensive devices, but the fact that you can take notes and it goes to the web immediately and you can access it anywhere and then you can share it with anyone in your office. It's a life changer for me.
Okay. Sounds good.
And yeah,
All right.
so
Well, from what you've said, I perceive that you believe the reMarkable provides you substantial assistance in your practice and your note taking. Do you agree?
100%.
All right.
And I know
Well,
that you're going to hear maybe from some people who like the iPads, and I'm not dissuading anybody from getting an iPad. However, I think with the limitation of what this does, it's only for note taking. You won't get distracted, especially if you like to squirrel sometimes and you're like, oh, well, let me just check my email. Let me do this. You can't do anything on this device. You're solely focused on note taking, and you won't be, there won't be a shiny coin or scroll somewhere in the corner try and take your attention away from what you're doing.
All right.
So,
Well,
yeah.
but you know, attorneys, if you've got two attorneys in the same room, you've got two different opinions on what to do and how to do it. All right. Well, thank you a lot,
Yes.
Kevin. That was a great presentation. And we are over and out until the next tech tip next month.